Okay, hi everyone. So today what we thought we'd have a quick chat about is vermin control. I've spoken about before as we're on a rural property and we do have issues with hawks, so we've got electric fences that we've put up to try and minimise the problem with them. But one thing we do, and like everyone, a lot of people do get, is the rats and the mice. We're in the process of changing a lot of our setup at the moment. So I was in doing the birds last night, giving them their feed, and sure enough, a damn mouse ran across in front of me in one of my new aviaries. So now we've gone on the attack for the mice. So there is a couple areas that he could have got in because of the fact, like I said, we are changing things from time to time. And at the minute, because we're only 3/4 of the way through of changing the setup, we've got to be extra vigilant on these things. As you know, rats and mice carry disease anyway that can be harmful to not only to finches but also to humans. They cause huge issues for birds. You'll hear all the horrible stories of how the rats can wipe out a collection of birds in the matter of nights. So you have to be really on your guard when it comes to these things. As you know, we're pretty lucky. We might only get a couple rats a year, and we are lucky enough that they don't seem to be getting into the complex, so which is good. But around, because we're surrounded by a lot of bush and whatnot, we do find them. We do set up bait stations for them. So, but the thing with the mice, because they're so tiny, even when you use your mouse-proof wire, they don't need much of a gap to be able to squeeze into. And then, of course, what happens if you've got your seed dishes and things like that down on the floor, or wire alongside where they can crawl up the side and jump into the seed dish, they will. And of course then they'll start eating the seed, and then you've got their urine problem, their droppings, which eventually produces a bacteria that will obviously make any bird very sick, and also normally your birds would die of it. So apart from contaminating your birds, the other thing with mice is obviously they will find where the finches, in our case it's finches, would be nesting. I have had it years and years ago. They will get up into the nest, they will sleep in the nests, and of course with the urine smell, all finches will desert. They will just flick their babies out or just out and go. So you have to be really on your guard when it comes to mice. And I do say rats as well, but like I say, I'm hoping lucky with the rat situation, but definitely mice, we do get them from time to time. The best way probably is to rodent proof. Okay, so with our setup, even though it was an ex-neophema setup, so small parrots, we're slowly converting it over to a finch complex. So where we can, we use the mice wire, so that's the little tiny one, and on the outside wire though, I do use the what we call the old 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, which might be 10 mil by 10 mil. But believe me, mice can obviously still get through it. So what we do is around the base of ours we have flat tin, which is about 600 mil high. So we have that on all the top of our footings, so the mice can't run up the tin and then get in through the wire. So that's one thing we do. The other thing with your feed stations, so when you're inside your cages, just try and have your feed stations so nothing at all other than your birds can get to them. So we had a year here couple years ago with little racehorse goannas, and we still this day still don't know how they were getting in. Yeah, they can run up wire, as can mice, rats and whatever. So set your feed stations up so it's smooth tin or something like that. You screw your trays, have them up off the ground so nothing can crawl up and get into those seed dishes at all and feed on the bird's seed. So we have ours in like a tray, maybe 300 millimeters by 300 millimeters and 100 millimeters deep. So we put our seed in their dishes inside there, and like I say, they're on flat tin on the side walls, the back walls, and nothing can get up inside. So that's one thing that we find that works for us. Yeah, and also when you're storing your seed, we have them in big plastic containers. So your seed is sealed. Cutting moths, which are really bad this time of the year or most times of the year, mice, rats, anything like that, they can't get to your seed. Where you store your seed, with us, we keep a lot of it in our walkway. We have a big massive walkway behind our flights, so we can enter all our flights from the rear. So our seed containers are kept in the walkway, and also when you're cleaning out your excess seed or your old seed, sweep up. Make sure you don't leave anything in your walkways, on the floor of the cages, anything that might attract these little rodents, because once they get in, they set up really quick. The other thing we do around our aviary complex, we use 100mm sewer pipe cut into about 600mm lengths with end caps put on and a little hole in one of the ends, and we obviously use baits. Now I know not everyone agrees with that type of thing, but believe me, if you let these rodents move in, set up, it's devastating. Okay, I can tell you a story of my brother that keeps some finches up in Geraldton. Unbeknownst to him, he would have had 100, 200 finches in a massive big flight. And he was losing them regularly. Within a week, he'd lost nearly 100, and he worked out that he had 11 rats. They got 11 rats out of his flight. So, trust me, they're not something that you take lightly. You have to get on top of these rodents.